See, this meme is about Rags not following obvious details, and I think it makes it very clear. Because as you can see there, it says room, and then dishwasher, and then goon tomb, which is the perfect placement for it. As Fringy is
True.
pointing out. So, yeah, the show continues against all recommendations. Sides, and Mbessa says we're going to have to force Victor's hand, and we get the I'm going to craft a serum that's going to prohibit Victor's success. That's what Singe says. We do see it. But the huge shocking reveal is one, that Vi has been captured by Caitlyn. Oh no!
Holy crap!
Tense
How could this
music
have happened?
plays, and you can see Rictus doesn't. He's like, and it's like, yeah, because he's the only good character in this act.
I'm gonna stay here.
Like, I don't know about this, but yeah, we also see Jace is here, and he's like arrived at the settlement. Which when we were watching it, we were like, "Fuck! Did he walk all the way from?"
He did walk.
Holy shit! Like,
you have to imagine all the awkward looks. Like he's just back all of a sudden, walks through wherever he needs to go through. It's like, is that Jace? What is
that?
Is he?
A man of progress?
Well, he's been missing for like 6 months. He's very, very. He's a counselor. How on earth did he get here without someone being like, "Holy, you're back? Where have you been?" I mean, if that happened, did they just get like pulverized?
They just killed every single one on their way.
He just shot them with the cannon.
I'm still like, having seen the entire season, I still don't understand why he hammered Sallow. Like that was not necessary.
Because he's an Arcane man
and
bad, yeah. Well,
bad.
we
Arcane, whatever.
I guess we should talk about it post episode 7. Yeah, we'll talk all about that. Don't worry. But now, yeah, Jace wanders through the settlement until he reaches Victor. That's a summary of all of his scenes that are coming up. The one thing I'd say is amazing is he managed to blunder through the whole camp and avoid every character that would recognize him. It's lucky.
Yeah. He's also carrying his hammer, obviously.
He's very noticeable to the point where other people could easily have said, there's a psycho man with a hammer. Like, anybody?
Yeah, no one...
Someone at the door didn't take his weapon.
Take it. He looks like he's going to squish some people too.
Well, he was smart. He didn't go through the main door. He went through the side door. Nobody takes their weapons there.
Yeah, it looks like you could get in a wide variety of ways.
Pretty open.
Yeah, but if you don't come through the door, that's rude. So nobody would do that.
Vi is delivered by Caitlyn, and if anyone checked Vi, as in did a thing of make sure she doesn't have any knives or guns or anything, this whole sequence would be fucked. But we're lucky because that doesn't happen.
Noxians aren't very good at,
anything
handling prisoners in wartime situations or anything like that. That's not something that they would have within their purview.
And I also don't understand why Ambessa tells Rictus to leave the room, because I don't think we have ever seen Ambessa doing anything, especially not anything as important as interrogating a prisoner, without Rictus being right there.
Well, he's off to go and do Warwick things? I can't remember. What is Rictus's job right now? She's sending him to do something.
He pops up later, but I don't think he was doing that yet. For now, I think that she's just told him to wait outside.
Well, we'll get back to them in a moment. For now, Grogu just stole back Jinx's gun, which just makes it sort of feel like, okay, I guess you could just do that. And Jinx says, ever since you dropped into my life, it's like I put on glasses, except I can't tell whether everything's blurry or clear.
So what does that mean?
I don't know, actually.
Means your glasses need adjusting?
I don't know if it's supposed to mean
my perspective has changed.
Yeah, I'm different, but I don't know if I'm seeing things clearly now or if you're distracting me from seeing things clearly, I guess. But I still don't really can't do much with that.
What does clearly even look like for Jinx at this point?
I think the idea that Jinx can see or think clearly after the events of season 1 is ridiculous, and we've got there in.
Well, man, they fucked her up.
This episode, but
that is not the character I was promised.
Nope.
Oh, they stole it from us, much like everyone else. Want to hear a dumb joke? Jinx says, a sentimental ex-con, a giant furball, and 2 of Piltover's most wanted walk into a weird cult, and here comes the punchline, and she spots Singed and Caitlyn standing over Warwick's body, which is like, Holy
What is
shit!
the punchline?
Well, just to be clear, Caitlyn, like, do we all remember what Caitlyn means to Jinx? Like, this is insane. She's just there with Singed, another fucker that we don't trust, in a room alone
And
with Warwick.
Jinx knows who he is. Jinx also knows who Singed is because he pumped her full of shimmer in season 1, which was also incredibly traumatic for her.
She should be freaking out. Like, what the fuck is going on? We're getting something bad's happening, something very wrong is happening. But instead, she's like, It's like, no, this is beyond.
This is a lot of trauma in 2 people for you, Jinx.
All of the characters
with
of
the
Arcane
trauma.
are here in this location.
Yeah.
They've all just like converged into this place. Even ones we thought were dead. They're all here.
From the dead.
We're about to have
They've all
From the
arrived.
dead.
From the dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the dead.
So, probably worth mentioning at this point, like Vi's plan, and how it doesn't make any sense. I'll avoid anything
well, in that
that has
case,
yet to
go
happen.
for it.
So,
Well, because we're on the scene where it gets revealed. I don't know if you want to do that first, and then we can run
go for
back
it.
a
Go.
little
Yes,
bit.
probably
So,
easier. Yeah.
Bessa's got her captured, and she says, "You're quite a curiosity. You captured Caitlyn's heart. I owe you thanks. Your absence provided a vacuum I was able to fill. In other circumstances, I might have offered you a position in my organization. Your resilience is undeniable. Of course, that won't be possible. You've caused too many complications. Caitlyn must not be distracted." And I think I said twice as she was saying this fucking speech, "You're monologuing. Kill her."
What possible reason do you have to keep her around?
She only intends to kill her. They're doing the fucking hack writing bullshit, which is like, I want to explain to you in detail my decision to kill you right now.
And
Why would
then when you
Ambessa
start
care?
Talking, I will hear you out. For some reason.
Yeah, she just lets her talk, which again doesn't feel like an Ambessa thing, but oh well. I just hate the fact that all of this is to explain why she's killing her. Just kill her then.
Yeah. Vi's dead frame 1, she enters this room, realistically speaking.
Oh,
Yeah, Richter just cuts her head off immediately.
that would be fun, but no.
It's like, oh shit, we got Vi? Okay, get her out of the picture right now.
Just stabs her in the face. Like, oh god.
Or
Oh.
as a test of loyalty, you get Caitlyn to kill Vi, and obviously,
Ooh.
if she
That'd be
fails, then Rictus will chop her head off.
That'd have been interesting.
Can't be having that now, can we?
So yeah, she's going to kill her, and then Vi says, "Don't worry, she's not distracted. You know, my father taught me about trust. He told me if I wanted it, there were 3 things I needed to do." And I was like, no way. No way. There's no way you're going to be able
3
to
things
list
is
all
like a
this shit.
triangle, guys. It's like a triangle.
She's like, "Oh, you know triangle?
Not again.
You know the triangles? Yo.
Not again.
Yo,
How many-
triangles."
How many-
Oh wait, I think I know why this works. It's because Vi says that there are 3 things that I need to do, and Bessa's like, yeah, number 1, yeah, number 2, yeah, number 3. Where are the other 5?
Where's the
Where's sacrifice come into this?
You didn't even start with vision.
You're
suck.
still on 3, you noob.
Yeah, and she said the 3 things. 1, be honest, even if it means telling a self-righteous windbag that her breath smells like a cesspool. Be patient. Still haven't managed to crack that one. But being tied up sure helps. And then Ambessa says, and the 3rd? And I'm just like, oh, kill her. Just kill her.
Ambessa at this point, absolutely, like, there's something going on. You know this already. Do your thing.
Drunk woman, just knock her out. Yeah, and then Vi says, just shut the fuck up. And I really wish Ambessa had shut the fuck up and killed her, but never mind. There is an edit that happens where...
By the way, this just so everyone knows where we are in season 2 right now, we're wishing for Ambessa to kill Vi. That's kind of where we're at. That's our position on season 2 currently.
Not even like questioning that is absolutely what I want. So there's an edit where Vi is undoing her cuffs, and so Ambessa tosses a blade at her, and Vi dodges it, and then she throws Caitlyn's got it's her E, right? It's
it's the net cartridge or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so
if that makes any sense.
An attachment to a rifle that shoots out a net to capture people, basically. And she put that out of the rifle and handed it to Vi. So she's got it in her hand. She throws it up, and by the time it comes all the way back down, she's gonna punch it to activate it to hit Ambessa. Problem is, they're using editing to cheat. Ambessa
What?
throws the sword, and then Vi throws up the net, and until it comes back down, Ambessa literally is frozen. She can't do anything.
A classic.
Sucks. But oh well.
Also, the fact that she punches that thing. They probably just went like, Vi punches things, so this is how we gotta do it. She can't just use the gun she has right there to shoot it with.
There are so many ways it could have gone wrong. You toss in a cylinder, that could be at any angle when it comes back down. You don't know for sure. And the idea that it's the perfect angle when it could easily punch it such that it doesn't activate or falls in a particular way, but yeah, it happens. And they are very happy with the editing that as it's going up, they're cutting back and forth to the Caitlyn Vi discussion, the part we didn't see, which is just her basically saying, like, do this insane nonsense plan.
Yeah. This is where all the guards are. This is what we do. All right, let's go. It's like, no. I need to know more. How do we get here? Again, there's like so much conversation that needs to be happening that I guess happened off screen if you want to cope.
Well, I mean, it's just a matter of like, well, yeah, they planned this. You don't even need to show us this. We got it. I don't even know.
The thing is, I'm much more interested in the conversation that happens to even get to this thing.
Vi's plan here was seemingly to incapacitate Ambessa and then not tell anyone. So I don't quite know how that works it's not like a big explosion or something that's going to act as a distraction. I don't understand why Vi did this, because it didn't actually really accomplish anything. But the bit that really just confuses me, and either I'm missing something or this is just a hole. Vi told Jinx to grab the rifle, grab the pistol, get Grogu to grab the pistol, and then wait. And it turns out, it's revealed later that Jinx was told to do that as like a failsafe in case Caitlyn changed her mind. So Jinx had been put there to shoot Singed, so that way Warwick could be freed. That's their plan here, is to free Warwick. After doing that, after positioning Jinx to do something that she didn't know was going to happen, Vi then followed Singed and accidentally bumped into Caitlyn, at which point she got Caitlyn to join her side and learned what Singed was doing. And then asked Caitlyn to go in and free Warwick, which means that essentially Vi set up a failsafe for Caitlyn before knowing that Caitlyn was even there.
This is all very easy to follow.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, I'm just confused.
Don't even want to talk about the character thing of, like, I'm going to set up Jinx as my failsafe against Caitlyn.
No, she has been rehabilitated. She's fine. Don't worry about it.
Ah, yes.
Everyone switch sides again. Don't worry about it.
Nobody believes anything.
That was the old me.
She does indeed actually trap Ambessa and knock her out with the electric net, but doesn't kill her. Vi does not kill Ambessa here.
Yep.
That's absolutely fucking nuts.
This person is quite a large problem right now, and you have received circumstances that you should not have been allowed to have. Maybe make use of them.
I don't even know where to begin in terms of, like, do you understand how much of a difference it would make if you killed her here? It could end a lot.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Insane. But no, she's not allowed. The plot would not let her kill her, so no, not allowed. I hope she doesn't get back up pretty much instantly and we have a huge fight in a bit. That would be bad.
Well, that would be awkward.
That would really suck.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. It's funny that they have that little, like, see, they had a conversation when it just tells us nothing that helps the situation anyway. It's just like, it almost feels like it's there to make people go, oh, wow, what a great twist.
Wow. They had a conversation? You're joking. I would never have predicted that they spoke.
Boy, I would have been.
They don't do this in this
I would have
season.
given a lot to have been a fly on the wall to listen to the characters in this TV show talk to each other.
I missed the council meetings from the first season. That was nice, but they talked about things.
Just, thinking about everything. Nearing the end of the episode, don't worry, not much else happens, no big events. It's mostly
nothing crazy.
Mostly chill. There's a happy, kind little child who's like, hello, Jace, and Jace is like, I want to smoosh you with my hammer. I want to smoosh you.
You know, I'm experienced in killing children. You might want to leave.
He's nearing Jace. I hope that's a pleasant and happy interaction. I'm sure it's going to go just wonderfully great.
Children
much to
just
talk
give Jace
about.
PTSD now whenever he sees a child.
I mean, you see people say, like, he killed a child. He'll be happy to kill most other things at this point. He's fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because it is funny after everything Radham just said. It's like the plan was Caitlyn was going to get Warwick out of the tent.
That was plan A. Plan B was that if Caitlyn changed her mind or failed, that Jinx would do it instead.
Do they know?
Which means the plan does not require Caitlyn's involvement.
Do they know that Warwick weighs like 1,000 times the weight of Caitlyn? She'll never be able to move him if he's not currently awake and willing to follow her.
Caitlyn looks really strong though.
Oh, okay.
She's lean, but that's all muscle.
That's another problem, because if it was Jinx doing it, like Warwick knows who Jinx is, which means that if Warwick is conscious to any degree, then yeah, she could lead him somewhere. He has no idea who Caitlyn is. In fact, he recently killed many people who looked like Caitlyn.
Yeah, there's no reason to assume he wouldn't fucking hate her for all we know. But,
yeah,
just go ahead and move Godzilla out of the tent, and if you can pull that off quick, that'd be great. We're not going to really rely on any other significantly well-planned shit here, because this is all just happening randomly now. Also, Rictus is here.
Let's
Yay!
go!
Oh, hey, Rictus.
Let's go, Rictus.
My friend.
So, everybody's just kind of walking in and out of this sanctuary, huh?
It's very easy.
There used to be a guard on duty.
What happened to the doorman? Yeah,
brass ones to be like, yeah.
Well, the doorman. We see him in a second, and Huck is inside the sanctuary, which I guess means it's someone else's shift on the door, and he's just not as good.
He's not as good as asking the one question. But yes, he says Ambessa believed in you, and your death will be a deep cut. Which is like, yeah, I guess this was quite a betrayal, because Caitlyn just does that. She kind of just...
Yeah, I have no...
Why are you talking?
That's another... Well, he's got to tell her that he's going to kill her. Like, if you don't tell someone you're killing them, then how are they going to know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
For
I guess they never would.
Damn.
For clarification as well, what you said earlier, Mola, was right. I was mistaken. So, the reason why Rictus is here is because Ambessa told him to follow Caitlyn, believing at that point that Caitlyn might betray her, because that was when Vi came into the room. So
but again,
that's why Rictus
you're
is
not
here.
supposed to be able to just walk into the sanctuary, and Jinx is keeping an eye on the whole situation. It's so weird that like everyone's just wobbling around.
Got a lot of sanctuary experts in here all of a sudden.
Have you ever
drunk how to run my sanctuary?
Have you ever drunk Kool-Aid?
What
this
would
is
you know about arcane cults?
This is strictly a League of Legends meme for a moment, but seeing Ambessa battle Caitlyn and seeing Rictus battle Jinx or Caitlyn in a close one-on-one, which is essentially watching a top laner get into a melee fight with an AD carry. And like the fact that they lost
condition.
Yeah, it's just like you guys should be fucking flattened instantly. It shouldn't even be close. But you don't need to rely on game shit to make that argument. But I still find it like this is something you'd want to avoid for the League fans. You don't want to have Jinx go up against Rictus and last for fucking ages. To be fair, she's got infinite flashes, so I guess she should be winning.
I guess so.
But no,
they heavily rely on her shimmer powers to make her get through anything. It's
I mean,
it's not a lot.
It's not enough though.
Well, her shimmer powers they nerf every once in a while as well, depending on the situation.
Oh yeah, whatever the plot needs.
But yeah, Rictus does actually beat her even with her flash powers. It's like Rictus is that cool.
Rictus is that amazing.
But
what a
he hesitates again, man.
But it didn't matter. The plot was never going to let him win. There was nothing he could do.
Unfortunately, he is doomed. He is a doomed man.
It's just so visually frustrating every time it happens because it's so many in this season.
Yeah,
I think it's just annoying because it's like, what are you doing? I don't believe in you anymore. So I know
you're breaking the promise of the character.
All of the fights are just to delay until you can have some big dramatic moment that you were really attached to, regardless of whether it makes any sense, regardless of whether it's even satisfying narratively.
The overuse of slow-mo in this fight also really annoys me. I generally do not care for slow-mo that much, and in this one it is massively overused, yeah.
So, Rictus goes for the kill shot, and Warwick tanks it. I don't know why. Like, not the fact that he wanted to save Jinx, the fact that he tanks it like this. This is bizarre. Wouldn't you just grab Rictus?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how is this even possible, really?
This is such a weird way to block the shot. It's like, okay.
Because he blocks it with the canister that has, like, the shimmer goop in it or something.
You'd think.
Also, imagine if Rictus just immediately drew it back and then just stabbed underneath.
I don't know why that didn't break the thing. It's singed, making materials that are stronger than Mr. Magic's hyper halberd that destroyed the shimmer fellas.
Yeah,
I guess so.
That's a bit...
Good point.
Seemingly not the case. That seems unlikely, but okay.
And yeah, he's like, "Don't touch my daughter."
Boring. Boring.
I didn't need that.
In fact, well, how would you have known?
Said you're really fucking cool. Can we be friends? Is what.
That's what he should have said. Yeah.
We should team up. Agreed.
I think it's a good solution, because basically the problem obviously was, like, how do we translate to the audience what Warwick cares about? Obviously, him taking the shot for Jinx doesn't really tell us anything, so he needed to say, like, hey, you, get away from the one I love. That's what he should have said, actually. That'd be a better line.
Person, that one there.
Yeah, I really like her, and you're not nice to her.
Or the other one with the blue hair.
Yeah, you're being a big old meanie.
In fact, I do consider her my daughter. That's what he should have said. The line they had was a little clunky, but
I have a pamphlet for this, and he just hands out a little piece of paper, like a bunch of arrows pointing to a picture of Jinx. That one cool.
Rick just looks at it and like, okay.
And yeah, you have
holds it in the
Warwick
camera.
And Rictus, and you're like, we could do a fight here, and then they just go, no, insta-kill. Well, I mean, he may as well have been insta-kill.
Get rid of Rictus. Get him out of here.
He's too competent. We got to stop him.
We're done with him. We're done with him. He'd get in the way of our drama that we want to do here.
I wish we were done with him, honestly, because we've got one more Rictus moment, and it's not a nice one.
Yeah, we do.
So then you have this thing, and this just made me realize how much I was like, I'm so fucking done with this show. Like, Jinx is like, oh, I love you, Warwick, and he's like, oh, I love you too, daughter. And then Caitlyn wakes up and she's like, what the fuck, you? Which, imagine the fucking hatred she has for Jinx. But Vi walks in and she's like, oh, my dad and my sister, oh. And then Grogu's like, oh, my surrogate mum and my grandpa, and oh, this is the best thing, oh, happy family. While Caitlyn is just in the background like, yeah, my like, story just doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's completely been flushed. Like, everything has been flushed for this pandering shit. Like, happy families, and you already know if you've been following how this episode's been going. It's like, yeah, you're doing the thing where you're gonna be like, man, we all made it. What a great result. Oh no, we didn't make it at all. Everything's going bad.
Bum duckets.
I gotta ask, what was Vi carrying there?
Let me see.
I know what she was carrying.
Let's see here. Well, it's Caitlyn's rifle, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another weapon that's got into the sanctuary past the doorman.
He's really... this new doorman, he's shit compared to the old one, huh?
He's just not on it. He's busy on his phone. Victor makes phones now.
Too bad.
I was kind of expecting, because when you have the shot of Vi and Jinx and Grogu and Warwick all hugging, and then you've got Caitlyn not involved in the hug for obvious reasons, just watching. I was half expecting her to just like completely freak out, because she's like, well, Jinx has taken everything from me and she still gets to have her family. Yeah, don't do that.
No, this to me felt like a very overt moment from the story of being like, I'm sorry, Caitlyn's story is getting put into the side. We're not dealing with it.
We're having a hug.
We care more about this stuff.
Act 2 has very little to do with Caitlyn's story, even though she probably has the most screen time in Act 2.
She's kind of the main character. She gets the most screen time.
Yeah.
She has the most screen time in all of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is there someone else who has more, or does she have them?
No, I can tell you. I worked it out. It is Caitlyn.
That doesn't surprise me.
You worked it out?
She gets a lot.
Yeah, I work it out.
How do you do that?
Caitlyn,
that painstaking.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't take that long. Just go scene by scene, work out who's in it. I'm not talking like you don't work out like, oh, where's the camera pointing at any one time.
Okay.
It's who is present in each scene, so it doesn't take that long. Yeah, so for season 2, you've got Caitlyn, Jinx, Vi, Jace, and then Ambessa are the top 5.
And Heimerdinger, how many?
Oh, Donga.
Yeah, how's Echo doing?
Big
So Donga had 28 minutes in season 1. He has 19 minutes in season 2.
That many?
No, yeah, I was
yeah,
surprised
yeah,
when I
there's
saw
like
the
too
minutes
many.
Heimerdinger
Yeah,
had.
it's like
That's how much Heimerdinger is
doesn't
wasted.
Echo has 28 minutes in season 1, and he has 38 in season 2. But it is worth mentioning that 25 of those are in episode 7. So outside of episode 7, he has about 10 minutes of that.
That's wild.
It's insane, yeah. Without episode 7, as we'll get onto, Echo is basically a non-factor in this season.
And I wonder where we spend most of our time in episode 7.
What do you mean? This is the best episode they've ever made.
Yeah,
I'm not
we're almost
angry.
to that. That's kind of exciting. To
I
talk about the
promise,
best
Echo is
episode.
not my most played League of Legends character. I'm not upset.
Well, they brutalized my boy Victor, and so they can brutalize your boy Echo next. Okay, it's gonna be wonderful. Anyway, Jace shoots Victor through the heart, and he's dead, quote unquote.
Yeah.
All of his acolytes, the cosmic zombie juice is drained. They all fall over, and then Vander goes nuts.
These are the rules, man.
The assumption is that Singed gave him the old injection because
I find it funny that he got taken out, and then he was just like, they were all distracted by their happy moment, and he's like,
dude, it would have been fucking hilarious if he looked at them, but then just slowly crawled toward his foot and put it on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We have also just skipped over very briefly. Jace just killed Victor. Jace just murdered his best friend.
Yeah, sure.
That's just anyway. Moving on. It's like,
well,
why?
I'll give it to the show
until
that I had nothing to say about any of this until I saw the missing scenes because I was like, I can't do anything with this. I don't even know who this guy is.
Exactly.
Sure,
yeah.
It's just like annoying because the expected reaction, everybody hated Jace, and it's like, dude, they're obviously like concealing why he's doing this.
Yeah.
Asking
that
why
doesn't mean the explanation is going to be good, but like, come on, just use your you've seen stories before, you know that they're hiding.
You've seen
information
stories,
from you.
yeah.
Yes.
To me, it would be like if you opened The Force Awakens with a scene of Luke murdering Han Solo, and then you filled in on why he did that in the next movie.
Like, I don't know why you didn't just use the actual example.
They never. Yeah, we never got why, and Luke did any of the shit that he did.
True. What I mean is that, like, Jace doing what he does to Victor in this scene is so far detached from who Jace is as a character that it is. Well, but that's complete nonsense. It's not intuitive at all.
I get you, but the writers would be like, "Yeah, intriguing, isn't it? What happened to him?"
It's like, it's not intriguing. I just got to sit here and wait until you explain it to me, and then I can decide.
Yeah, there's nothing for me to work with, other than, by the way,
it's manufactured.
I
think manufactured rather than
all of us with a gun to our head were forced to guess what happened to him. All of us would broadly guess. Well, he went on some kind of adventure that convinced him that the Arcane and the Hex Tech and stuff are all bad. They lead to like the bad.
Would be my guess.
That would be my guess. Yeah.
Yes, but I don't.
Remarkably close to that.
I don't think that. Well, we'll get on
we'll
to it,
get
but I don't
don't
think
worry.
that the justification is anywhere near sufficient.
I agree.
Well, I mean, hey, in episode 7, I don't know that we get exactly where he needs to be.
So, Warwick goes nuts, and he, for some reason, feels the need to tear Rictus personally to shreds. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
Bull just
Thanks
gets
for that.
splattered, and no, that's not a setup for Singe to make a cool zombie Frankenstein Rictus. He's just out. That's it.
Combine him with Smee.
Smeechtus.
And because he's not a main character, he doesn't get a slow motion with dramatic music and getting to reflect and contemplate, his life or anything. He just gets torn to shreds because he's not a main character.
It's funny, I'm grabbing a bit ahead, but it's funny because they do say it's like, or let Singed say it's like, no, his wounds were too severe. We couldn't rescue him. It's like, oh, okay,
which is bullshit.
Thanks.
Singed can bring whatever.
I mean, I don't know. Like Vander's injuries were pretty severe.
Oh yeah,
no,
that's fine.
Fine.
The
I feel like we may have seen the light go out of his eyes, but I guess that's okay.
The bit of Rictus's death that I do like here, though, is the zoom on Ambessa and Ambessa's reaction, and also Caitlyn's realization for what's going to happen about a second before it does, because of how close Rictus was to Ambessa. Not necessarily emotionally, but like they clearly knew each other quite well, and he was very useful to her. So yeah, I thought that worked. Whether he needed to go out in this way, probably not.
I mean, I feel like you've highlighted an issue without even realizing it necessarily. What the fuck is Ambessa doing? She should be attacking.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Just standing there with her whole army waiting. Why would they be? I can't imagine for a fucking second that Ambessa wasn't sprinting toward Rictus with him being on the floor. And to be honest with you, it would have been a really cool payoff to have Hyper Warwick versus Ambessa and Rictus. Yeah. But no, we don't do things like that.
And then Rictus dies as a result of protecting Ambessa.
That would have been awesome,
That could have been so much better, yeah.
Nah, it's this. Look at him.
Because, like you say, like earlier when Warwick threw Rictus out of the window, Rictus was just lying there on the ground in plain view. So Ambessa must have seen him there. He's not fucking small. He's gigantic. So,
yep. And Rictus, Act 2 MVP. Smeech was Act 1 MVP, and we say good night to both of our soldiers.
They die too soon.
Good night, sweet bridge.
For Rictus.
I don't want to open the conversation too early, but do we have an Act 3 MVP?
No,
I don't think so.
No, there isn't, right?
Ending credits of episode 9.
I guess he's kind of like the MVP of the whole season 2, you know?
I'll happily give it to him in Act 3 as because that's where he wins.
Sure.
Oh,
I mean, he does win, pretty much.
maybe Loris, the Shieldman.
No.
He does.
Why would you say that?
Because he does something and he has a cool gun.
No.
That's not quite the nature of the status
the thing about
the MVP.
Yeah, Smeech and Rictus have characters. They have goals, and they execute on those goals, and they have actual stories somewhat.
And so Singed, he can count. We can. He's the winner of Act 3 and kind of the whole season.
Loris dies because he doesn't use his shield.
That's the tragedy.
His whole arc was about trying to leave the shield behind, but he just couldn't do it.
He learned it eventually. And so we get a very emotional the fighting begins via montage, and Victor starts having a chat. He says, "I understand now the message hidden within the pattern." I feel like needed a redraft. The message hidden within the pattern doesn't sound
refined.
Something different. The reason for our failures in the commune, the doctor was right. It's inescapable. Humanity, our very essence, our emotions, rage, compassion, hate, two sides of the same coin, inextricably bound. This is apparently a revelation to what is the smartest being in the history of this universe, that turns out what comes behind some of the greatest and horriblest actions ever comes from the same place. It's passion.
You know that humans can be good and bad?
I was really surprised that this was the point he was making. I was like, well, duh. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's so boring as well. It's we're doing this really lame
This is the starting point. It is a given that human beings can do both good and bad. Therefore, That's not the revelation at the end. You know that because you are one of those humans.
How is this his revelation? This is what he has to say about all. He doesn't even know why Jace just shot him. He's just confused.
Doesn't he has the Ambessa syndrome where he doesn't understand triangles. He said that 3 things were 2 sides of a coin.
Did he? Oh, I guess because he said rage, compassion, hate. He probably should have said compassion and hate, or rage and compassion. Yeah, he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, actually. That's just a matter of
redrafting.
You should be tightening that up.
Now we need to do another. Now we need to draw a weird coin.
I don't know, it's amazing that this huge war is happening with all these significant characters, and I don't give a fuck. The only thing I guess I do like is that one shot of Singed. That's cool.
We've devolved. I feel like whenever storytelling reaches the big battle of the bunch of faceless goobers against all of our protagonists, I've started to check out. Well, no, I've already checked out long before that point. That's just like the final death knell. It always reaches this point. The slot battle.
The slot battle. Well, you know, lots of things start happening. It's so crazy. Warwick hits Jinx, and she's out. Like that one hit to her. Oh, she can't do anything anymore. Damn.
Oh.
And Grogu spots this. Grogu actually has a unique understanding of the battlefield, such that no one else does, and concocts a plan to save everybody. And I can't help but say this with a fucking smile on my face because I know the result of it, which is very funny. But so to be clear, Baby Grogu is like, that big beast is getting out of hand, and it hurt Mummy Dearest. So what I should probably do is put the 2 gemstones that I took earlier when everyone else should have taken them into the pistol from Jinx that I picked up because she got it knocked onto the floor, overload it such that I can shoot a giant energy beam into Warwick, hopefully killing him, but unfortunately sacrificing myself in the process. But
how unfortunate.
That is a move I'm willing to do for the sake of love and for the sake of saving those who deserve it, because I am a hero. This woman is like 6.
Why did you say this woman is like 6?
Because that's how they're treating her. That's how they're writing her, as though she's like a full-on, evolved, very advanced adult character who's understood her own journey. Fuck off. Yeah. She's a child. She has no idea what's going on.
Be afraid and running away and cry or something.
Counterpoint, this is like poetry because it rhymes with Act 1 of Season 1.
No.
Away.
Because this random kid who fell on Jinx has become Powder, but this time uses the gemstones deliberately in a suicidal attack to save her family rather than as a tragic accident.
Obviously what they were trying to do, and it's so funny because they decided that the result would be good, when in realistic terms, she would have probably killed everyone here.
Yeah.
The absolute craziness again that they think that this is a good thing for this character.
It is a child with a gun, and they're like, "Yay!"
It's not even a gun. It's a gun emulating a terrorist.
It's a bomb. It's not even really a gun
bomb.
It's a gun bomb.
A gun bomb.
A gun that shoots bombs.
Just what every child needs. A good old gun bomb.
This child has been inspired by Jinx to kill herself.
I know.
Well, and they're going to emphasize that by showing all of these watercolor illustrations, all of the fun times that they had together, going on adventures.
You guys remember those fun times? Because I don't.
How the fuck did you
see them?
Well, hey, look, it's the recurring theme of the season. If ever there is information, necessary, important information that you need to convey that you don't have the time to do, squeeze it into a music video.
Yay.
Sounds good.
But also, she didn't need to do it because one, you could have achieved it without the suicide run if she understood the gun bomb that she was holding. But also, like, it wasn't as though the scene wasn't framed as though Jinx was just about to be killed and then she ran in and saved her. It was like, well, everyone is here, so I'm going to go and blow up the monster. They could have just left.
Well, I have to bring it up now because it's just too fucking funny. What is the total result? Well, all of the good guys do make it out, so thank goodness that it did work. And what about the bad guys? Like, well, and Bess is alive, and Singed is alive, and Warwick, well, he's even more alive than he was. He's now supercharged, and Victor is also supercharged. What was the point?
And Ambessa has more Noxians in the back. It's
yes,
fine.
she got a respawn army, so basically it was completely pointless her doing this.
Yeah, which this means the show tells me doing something that you think is good is fucking worthless. Don't do it.
I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to take from this.
I don't know. It's so hilarious of a scene.
So all of Act 2 to me feels very, very pointless because it does. You could just watch Act 1 and then like a few weeks later and then go straight to Act 3. You don't really need much of what happens in Act 2 because all of it primarily focuses on Jinx and Grogu, which goes nowhere because Jinx has now returned to having nothing, which means that, in other words, like she's exactly where she was 6 episodes ago. They didn't need to do this. and it feels like filler in a season that really could have done without this amount of filler.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy to have that much filler in a season that the primary and accurate complaint is that several seasons worth of content was crammed into it? And then you have a storyline that is effectively superfluous.
This is one of the most bizarrely paced shows I've ever seen.
I don't think I can get over the... Well, there's that, but I don't think I can get over the fact that, like, what message can you take from this that isn't terrible? This sequence. So many people love this moment, and I was just fucking thrown by it. Like, we have the child commit suicide for the team. What in the hell? I've never come across a story that's ever justified shit like this.
Yeah.
The jinx!
Also, the obvious thing, like, if you watch this show, like... I don't give a shit about this child. Like, I don't know who she is. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I think they were advertising like this episode is chapter 2 is gonna be real tearjerker, and I was like, no, like I don't care about this character. There's nothing here to grab onto.
It's absurd.
Compare this to Act 1 of season 1.
Yeah,
like that was amazing because we understood the characters. The two of them died. 3 of them died. Well, technically 2 only, I guess. And everything's like, oh yeah, this is like actually really tragic and shit. And now we go to this like, oh, this character that never talks is now dead. But look, she did the pew to Jinx because Jinx really cares about her, allegedly.
Warwick could have flattened her at any moment, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it just doesn't. But yeah, it's bizarre that I think we actually
cared about her as much as we do.
Well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's like, who's this child? Fuck you.
I'm guessing I speak for everyone when I say that I felt sadder at Rictus's death.
Absolutely, dude. I actually felt legitimate something in the funeral sequence in episode 8, right? Like with Ambassador.
Yeah.
You know, he was loyal to Ambassador
to the end,
and wanted to protect her and Noxus.
Yeah, this was
been on
not
the council.
Well thought out at all, and as Fring's already mentioned, but we'll start talking about it now. As she's running to commit to a sacrifice, I'm just going to call it as cynically as I can. They were like, we should probably toss in some history flashbacks because we've barely done anything for these two.
Yep.
And so it's like, look, they're dancing. Look, they're singing. Look, they're running through the city together. Look, they're playing.
Look at what they had, and now it's coming to an end. It's like you didn't. This is invented. This is not.
Yeah.
You can't do this. This is not allowed. You can't just.
This is so
montage of
beyond below
a relationship.
Like season 1 would be fucking embarrassed to see this. It'd be like, what are you doing? This is not.
I'm just imagining now Boromir's death in Fellowship, but where he's not a character, he never spoke, and then as the arrows get fired into him, you just see like a flashback.
Dude, you see, so
flashbacks of him training the hobbits.
Well, I was just about to say, you have Boromir and Merry Pippin jumping through Piltover Zorn and then dancing and just singing. And they're lying together on a sofa as all these fucking crayon droids pass by the screen. Oh my god.
I cannot belabor this enough. This is a nightmarish outcome for this child. This child spent their life living with and trying to emulate a mentally ill terrorist who had basically given up on life. And this is portrayed as like a good thing for both of them.
It's a major failure. The child, guys, all of you fucked up. The child killed herself for all of you. That's so fucked up.
She killed herself for the season 2 versions of you.
Whatever, man.
And she didn't achieve anything.
Didn't matter. Didn't achieve anything.
Well, so for the record, Isha
it would have been worse if it had achieved something almost.
Isha is her canon name, and she is not really mentioned at all in Act 3.
No, that is actually a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the ending of Act 2. This is the big moment, and then it's just like,
he's done our narrative duty. We can move on.
We're finished with you. Bye.
Mission accomplished.
I don't even know what to say.
Again, I don't even like. Again, it's entirely manipulative anyway. But like, I mean, you got to follow through on the characters of the story that you create. You know, and especially
kind of do owe it to them.
I'd say so. I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, I basically don't respect the writing here. It's entirely manipulative and cynical. But You know, like, this is a character that you introduced, and once she's gone, that's it. Nobody really talks about her or acknowledges her anymore. Which happens to another character.
You see, you see some results of her death, right? Like Jinx. But I'm obviously it's weird as fuck that first of all, Savika never finds out. We never have the scene where Savika knows what happened to the child that she also took care of. That's really fucking
just
odd.
Never finds out anything. That's her character in season 2.
Well, to be fair, I don't personally give a fuck about Grogu, but I would try to list this as parts of the problems because this is about how they failed to achieve things that they're trying to achieve, not just they're failing to achieve things that we think they should have achieved. And it's honestly lower on the list compared to all of the things they've done wrong. Like, forgetting to acknowledge Isha's death, I'd be like, that's really like problem 96. We'll get there eventually. We got to deal with all the characters, and then of course there are certain other people who are going to die that are not going to be mentioned whatsoever either.
No, they're not. Certain fellas with mustaches.
Certain fellas that I've been waiting all season to see.
Hey, don't worry about that, okay?
Relax.
They respawn. Don't worry.
Oh my god, we're still going to talk about it. We're on the way. We're getting there. Yeah. So, how else do I put this? So, like, the sequence is ending, and Victor says, "That which inspires us to our greatest good is also the cause of our greatest evil." And I can't help but obviously be like, that line fucking sucks compared to the Chad line in season 1. In the pursuit of great, we failed to do good. That was like such a thoughtful statement. This one is such a like, okay, bro.
Sometimes when you try to do good, you do bad. Oh, thanks.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
you know
I have no idea.
That like thing inside us that motivates us to do good things. It can also motivate you to do bad things. Like, wow.
As a human being, every time I set out to do a particular thing, I accomplish exactly that particular thing and nothing else. There are no other ways that my actions could go.
Do you think he meant the Grogu had just been inspired to do a great evil?
Yes.
What do you think he's talking about? The writers?
Maybe Grogu was like, I see my perfect opportunity. I can kill Warwick now.
You go, that which inspires us to do the greatest good. It shows Arcane Season 1 is also the cause of our greatest evil. Arcane Season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the line from Season 1 also applies now to Season 2.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to make this even better than Season 1, and holy fuck.
And they failed to do good.
They failed to make it half as good as, like, one episode.
Yeah.
It's also just, I mean, we haven't really dug into it because the show won't. But the notion that the very same element that inspires us to do great good gets us to do great evil, it's like, it'd be nice to have a character fight against that too. Like the notion of it, how wrong Victor is, how it's a lot more complicated than that plenty of evil would be done pretty casually and without significant passion, while some of the greatest evil can arrive from very destructive or like apathetic, like a nihilism can lead to great evil rather than great passion. There's so much to discuss there. I'm not even going to bother. What would be the point?
No. They also never really mention again that this weird community of cult members just exploded. It's just like because
they're all gone.
People probably still want to go there, like, oh, I'm going to go to the weird machine thing called whatever they call themselves. Like, no, didn't you hear? They exploded. It's like, oh, okay. Guess not.
How the fuck would you summarize the events of the... I just, when I saw it, the first thing I thought with the logistics of the battlefield is like, she's killed everybody. There's just no way you could justify this. She's killed everyone. That explosion is going to vaporize everybody there, but they don't have the balls to do that.
No.
I did see some cope with the final, because the very final shot that you get where the explosion goes off, and then it kind of does like a freeze frame thing and then fades to black.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were theorizing that, well, there's a character in the setting who canonically has a time machine.
That's what I thought they were going to do, and I was horrified. I was horrified at the prospect. Mercifully, my greatest fear in that regard didn't come to pass, but I think what I got was a little bit worse, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not too happy about it.
Good show. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, so that episode currently is the highest rated episode of Arcane, both seasons on IMDb.
Really? Episode 6?
Christ.
You know,
that episode just now has a 9.8.
That is a fucking tragedy.
The
I'd
second
be willing
highest.
to hazard the opinion that the base violence necessary for change is a better episode.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Holy shit.
yeah.
God, that episode's amazing. Also, someone said, to be fair, Victor isn't supposed to be right. Do you guys think so? With that line?
I think
This is framed as like apt commentary.
I feel like he's supposed to be correct on this.
Condition.
Victor may well be, the role that he's going to be playing in Act 3 will go in a certain direction. But yeah, I think this quote is meant to be kind of in the same way that in the Pursuit of Great, where we failed to do good. This is meant to just be like a true statement on as believed by the writers.
Yeah, it's an observation.
Yeah, my argument in favor of it
true or false
would be that it's what like inspires us to action can lead to the greatest goods or bads. That's perfectly fine as a notion. And what I'm saying is we don't explore it further, and we don't have characters counter it. Hell, I would have loads of counters for it. That's what I was saying. It's like it's a pretty basic. It's like, I don't know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You're like, yeah, you could put that in your show, I guess. You gonna talk any more about anything else?
Anything to say about it?
Yeah, like, be cool to build on that. And it's like,